As a die-hard One Tree Hill fan who has followed the lives of Lucas, Peyton, and Haley for over 2 decades, I must admit that the news about the sequel leaves me feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. On one hand, the prospect of revisiting the small town of Tree Hill and catching up with my beloved characters is thrilling. On the other hand, the potential loss of Lucas or the absence of Haley from the sequel storyline feels like a punch to the heart. More than a decade has passed since the last episode of the beloved TV show One Tree Hill was broadcast, making it 12 years in total. However, the long-awaited sequel to this series is now being developed, much to the delight and anticipation of its dedicated fans. In the final days of August, Deadline announced that a, quote, One Tree Hill spin-off show, spearheaded by the original stars Sophia Bush and Hilarie Burton, was in the pre-production phase at Netflix. Bush and Burton will serve as executive producers and are expected to reprise their roles as Brooke Davis and Peyton Sawyer, respectively. The initial One Tree Hill series centered around half-brothers Lucas Scott, portrayed by Chad Michael Murray, and Nathan Scott, James Lafferty, who started off as adversaries but eventually forged to a genuine brotherhood. In a new direction exploring more female perspectives, the upcoming spin-off will primarily revolve around Brooke and Peyton, along with their teenage offspring. This new series, occurring 20 years after the original, is expected to delve into Brooke and Peyton's experiences as parents, showing how they guide their children through life's ups and downs, while navigating similar milestones and struggles that they encountered in One Tree Hill. The sequel series is still in its early phases, and currently only Haley and Peyton have officially been announced as original stars coming back for the sequel, and the team is built to trump to get to witness and to make any time to get a lot better to witnesses and make any series. Although this list is small, the show threw comments on Burton's Instagram post where she announced the sequel. However, no official word has been given about any additional returning cast members as of now. And besides Burton and Bush, there could be another familiar face joining the cast for the sequel. It's said that Danielle Ackles is in discussions to rejoin the show. In the original series, Ackles played Rachel Bettina, who was initially known as Scott. Rachel appeared in the 3rd season of One Tree Hill, and she served as a rival to Brooke's character. Rachel posed a threat to Brooke's position as captain of the cheerleading team and also endangered her relationship with Lucas Scott. Over the course of their relationship, these two individuals grew to respect each other deeply and eventually formed a strong friendship. But it's worth noting that Rachel's storyline in the initial series didn't have a positive resolution. It was revealed she married Dan Scott primarily for his wealth. The relationship between Dan and Rachel ultimately soured, with Dan regarding Rachel as one of his adversaries. And despite several members of the initial cast expressing interest in reprising their roles for the sequel, it's been confirmed that Chad Michael Murray, who portrayed Lucas Scott as central character in the One Tree Hill narrative over 6 seasons, will not be returning.
Despite speculation about his comeback due to his significant role in the original series, his relationship with Peyton Sawyer, played by Hilarie Burton, Deadline's announcement of the sequel stated that Murray would not be participating.
It appears that actor Murray, known for portraying Lucas Scott over 6 seasons and making a guest appearance in season 9, doesn't intend to reappear in the upcoming continuation of the series as far as we know. But regardless of how the sequel decides to write out the character of Lucas, it's likely that fans will find it disheartening. One possibility is that by the start of the sequel's narrative, Lucas and Peyton may have divorced. Another option could be the tragic demise of Lucas's character. Either way, these scenarios would undoubtedly sadden fans, that they would account for Lucas's absence from Peyton and their daughter Sawyer's lives in the sequel. Furthermore, given that the sequel is set 20 years after the original series, these plot points would fit logically. in the conversations about the sequel to One Tree Hill, it's interesting to note the absence of Haley James Scott, played by Bethany Joy Lenz. Initially, Haley was introduced as Lucas's closest friend, but over time, she forged strong bonds with Peyton and Brooke, forming a trio who navigated the highs and lows of many One Tree Hill seasons together. Haley's character was often like the glue that held everyone else together, and her relationship with Nathan played a significant role in helping the brothers reconnect after their estrangement. It's troubling that Lenz's participation in the series wasn't announced alongside Bush and Burton, considering Haley's significant contribution. Since Haley, Nathan, and their children share similar ages with Brooke and Peyton's offspring, it seems logical for them to reappear together in the sequel. Their return would enrich the series by showing how their friendship has evolved over time and how they navigate different life stages collectively. Since the sequel is currently in its preliminary development stages, with a few confirmed cast members announced yet, there's still plenty of time for Lenz to become part of the project. They're shared hosting duties on a One Tree Hill themed podcast titled Drama Queens, hints at a close friendship between Bush, Burton, and Lenz off-screen.
However, Burton departed from the podcast in July 2024, with Robert Buckley taking her place. The explanation provided was that Burton had exhausted her behind-the-scenes experiences on the show. Nonetheless, it's been speculated by Glamour
that a disagreement between Burton and Lenz might have led to Burton leaving the podcast.
As the production of the sequel progresses, we can expect further announcements regarding additional cast members joining the series. For now, only Sophia Bush and Hilarie Burton have been record confirmed to return, while Chad Michael Murray will not be part of a new season. Fans are eagerly speculating who else might appear in the sequel, but until official announcement is made, these assumptions remain just that, assumptions. The addition of fresh faces could bring a unique twist to the storyline, especially since some of these original characters may not return. Unfortunately, there's no word yet on when the sequel will be released